Today I wish to welcome all of you to St. Joseph's Church here in Uniontown on Walnut Hill. And basically I would like to congratulate, of course, the parish family here on the occasion of our 100th anniversary. 100 years of faith, hope, and love here in our Catholic Church. And I likewise welcome all of you who may just be friends of the parish family. This has been a tremendous year. It's also been the year of the Eucharist. But this year, as we celebrated 100 years of the parish family, we recall many things. We celebrated many different events, spiritual events and social events. This parish reminds me of the gospel story. In fact, it epitomizes the gospel story of the mustard seed, that at the beginning, there were only 85 immigrant Polish families here. And from those 85 families, this parish, now that it exists, is over 700 families. But from that tiny mustard seed, this parish just grew in a beautiful spiritual and physical way.
Many of our Polish ancestors came to the United States at the beginning of the 20th century and towards the end of the 19th century. They came to work in the coal fields of southwestern Pennsylvania. Many of them came from a region of Poland called Małopolska, or Little Poland, and Galicia. People who came to Pennsylvania at this time were often listed as being citizens of Austria-Hungary. That's because at that particular time, Poland and some of the other countries of Eastern Europe were part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So there was a need for freedom, I think, and a need for enhancement, a need to better oneself. And for these reasons, many people decided to come to America. There were many jobs in the coal fields in southwestern Pennsylvania and the steel mills. So people came to Pennsylvania to find employment. Once they were here, they needed completion or fulfillment for their lives. And for a Pole, this of course meant a place of worship, and this meant a place of worship that was also a little bit of home. Not just a parish, but a Polish parish. A place where you could hear a sermon in your native language, a place where you could participate in religious services that maybe you might not find at another parish. For example, Gorzkie Żale, a Polish tradition during Lent, would be something that people would be looking for. People had, I think at that time, a greater sense of ethnicity for the simple reason that they were not as far removed from the old country. I can remember, and I'm sure many other people have similar memories, I can remember my grandparents preparing packages to send to the old country. The old country was alive and well and living in us. And our parish community at that time was, in a sense, an extension of our ethnic ties to the country in Europe that our grandparents called home. It was Father Ostawiewski who first began the movement which ultimately resulted in a Polish parish in Uniontown. In 1903, actually in October, people started to raise money for a new church and were able to purchase some land on South Mount Vernon Avenue. On October 1st of 1905, a cornerstone was finally blessed by Father Ostawiewski, and the people decided to call their parish St. Joseph because of the great love of the Polish people for Joseph, the foster father of Jesus and the spouse of Mary, his mother. The physical construction of the church was actually initiated by people who worked in the mines. You'd have somebody work a shift hand loading coal, maybe for 8, maybe 10 hours, maybe 12. And after work, he'd take his pick and his digging tools and he'd report to the project on Easy Street and spend some more hours doing very similar kind of work. Those people are probably some of the real heroes of our parish too. Many of those people are people whose names have been lost.
Looking back at the parish history, at the start of the parish, back in the 1905, 1906 period, when the parish was built, If I had to look at anybody in my life that I would call a hero, it would be those people.